I asked Willow, and she said, I think we'll screen. I'll
Kyle,
screen share.
welcome to the Tina.io sprint review for sprint 53 and sprint planning for sprint 54. Um, as you know, we took a little break because we didn't have any developers available as we were either on client work or we were moving within internal teams that were higher priority projects. But we're back now and we're actually doing a backlog refinement and realized there's quite a bit of critical issues that we needs our attention. So we've decided to start up Tina.io again. So let's get into it. So first of all, let's look at Sprint 53. Now it's been, believe it or not, and I'm sure you know because you probably missed us a lot, but it's been about 3 months since we've had our last sprint review. Um, Oh, never mind. And our goals were to get feedback on new landing pages and reduce SEMrush errors. So we've only accomplished one of those goals, which is reduce SEMrush errors. But it's been 3 months of people using Tina Docs, and so far the feedback, although not in writing, but what we heard was really good, and people really liked the site. So what, as we said, the sprint in review is sprint 53. It's about 18 weeks or 90 man days since the last sprint review. Now, the reason I mentioned that is you can see the work at the bottom here. Even though we weren't actively working within sprints, there were some people doing odds and ends with issues. One of those were Tino. Um, he was working on a lot of the SEMrush errors and a bunch of other email tasks which related to Tina.io. So he was actually doing a lot before he moved over to the Yakshaver team. Aman did about 5 days before moving to SSW rules, and Josh also did some odds and ends between client work and spec reviews and things like that. And I can only remember one day that I actually spent a full day on working. So this is the timesheets, which really just reflects what I've just said. We had a few other people touch Tina.io. I know those would have been email tasks and small little things that needed changing. So in the review, we still managed to get 4 items done. That was planned. Again, this is excluding any email tasks that were done. That should probably have been captured on the board, regardless of whether we're doing a sprint or not. It's always good to have these items, email tasks, yak shaved so that we have it in the sprint and so we can refer to it when needed, but it doesn't seem to have happened this time around. Overview of sprint, yes, mostly done as we saw before. We've got one in progress and then a backlog ready couple that we were gonna look at then, but that's not high priority anymore. SEMrush, so this is actually very good news. The site health has gone up by 5% without us touching it, which is great. And the errors, like I said, Tino did work on it. I know Aman also did some work on it, but we managed to get the errors down from 68 to only 3, which is really good. And then the warnings is an issue, but it is something we think we know what's causing it. And it's one of the items that we're pulling into the sprint. AI usage this sprint, so pretty standard ChatGPT. I've been playing around with Gemini Flash on this Gemini CLI, which is pretty good. And Isaac's been using anti-gravity cursor with auto because he ran out of tokens. And then the normal ChatGPT. Copilot stats, as I mentioned before, this was actually a backlog refinement, and then we realized there's a lot of work to do. All our discussions happened during backlog refinement, and then we decided to start it up because we found one particular error, which I'm going to jump to immediately, which is a big concern. And the book now, CTA, is not working anymore on the website. So we've already started work on that. But that's sort of what triggered us to start up Tina.io again and get the sprint going with a bunch of other errors. So going back to what went well, so the SEMrush errors only at 3 after all this time, which is amazing. We had a really good backlog refinement meeting today. I got rid of some duplicate items, things that were already done, but we also added a few very important items that we're going to look at in the next sprint. And we still got some work done in the last 3 months, as we saw on the timesheets. What didn't go so well was, well, it took 3 months. Yes, sorry, you go.
Can I interject for the what went well? Aman's fixed this booking button very quickly, so it was offline for a while, and in the course of this meeting, he's resolved the issue, and I've reviewed it, and it should be going live pretty soon.
It is
So
live
that's a
now.
really good turnaround.
Should be live spoon. No,
It is live and quick
Oh,
than before.
Oh, you've improved it. That's much better.
all right. So, but it has been fixed already. Cool. That's really good. And then one more thing that didn't go so well was the code auditor scan has been set up, but it was not working. So we're also working on getting that. We're actually getting Zach to have a look at that. What should we change? So this was actually brought over from last time because we haven't looked at it yet. So we need a marketing person to promote Tina Docs. I looked at Google Analytics. We've got absolutely 0 paid users that hits Tina Docs. So it would be good to get some promotions out there. And then we also need to speak to Pam about the Tina ads for China, which we haven't done just yet. Any questions around the review and retro so far? No? Cool. Yeah. Let's move over to the planning. So the sprint goals for sprint 54 is fix urgent issues. For example, the book now button CTA, which has already been fixed. Like I said, there's quite a few bugs that we picked up that we thought is high priority that influences, the user's ability to use the website, and that can have negative effects for us. So the estimated availability for the sprint is 3 days. Aman still needs to help out at SSW rules for a little bit. Isaac also 3 days because he's got some other work that needs his attention. Josh, I put on for 2 days. He's actually on leave today and he's available tomorrow and next week, Tuesday. So I'm hoping that he can jump onto tina.io. And then myself 1 day to do some more backlog refinement. The items we're looking at, I haven't actually highlighted because everything is highlighted. So let's just see if I can remove that. Sorry, bold it. So the main one, as we said, was the demo button for error, which has now been fixed. And then we've got a bunch of 404 errors on the tina.io homepage. Yeah. And then the Google Analytics, I was looking at the SEO and the performance of the websites, and I found that the Google Analytics was not tracking the Tina Docs website at all, because I was trying to compare the traffic between TinaCMS and Tina Docs, and that was because it was not added yet to the tracking. So that's something that we're going to look at now to actually add. So the rest of it, or all of it actually, as you can see, are bugs, but they are high priority bugs for us, and we want to get it fixed into the next week. Any questions about that? No, all good. All right, cool. So as always, we will upload the sprint summary to the tina.io sprint summary on the TinaCMS YouTube channel. Thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see you in about a week. See ya.
Thank you.
Scott.
Yeah.
It's all.